Rapper, but don't gotta change. Stuck in my waist, so I'm loving my beans. Like 1 million views in a day. There's so many ways to get paid. I tried dipping, he begged me to stay. Babe, I'm not staying, I just wanna play. In the party, he just wanna rum. Big boobs in the bus, they plump. She a baddie, she knows she a 10. She a baddie with her baddie friend. They like ice, how you always stay hot. Oh, they mad cause I keep making bops. Oh, she mad cause I'm taking her spot. If I was I'd hate me a lot. Like damn, she in her mood. 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 She lit, get money too. Like damn, she in her mood. No friends, I don't f with the fake. Saying they love me but one in my place. Step in the party, I'm looking the baddest. So the paparazzi in my face. Pretty but I came from the gutter. Said I'd be lit by the end of the summer. And I'm proud that I'm still getting bigger. Going viral is getting them sicker. Like
let's keep the book. Hello, hello, hello. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, people. We are here. We're back. We are back to talk about Euphoria. Before I get to the chat, Ashley, how are you doing on this fine night?
I am blessed and highly favored, Tyra. Ready to get in and get out of this one. I'm ready to get in and get out of this one, but I am ready. How are you?
That's what she said. I'm good. I'm happy to be here and talk about this with someone. You know, we talk to ourselves a whole lot, but it's even better when we get to talk to y'all in the chat and get to talk amongst each other. Be sure to hit that like button, show us some love, get into that chat and tell us what you are thinking about the show, because if you're watching it, there has to be something that you want to share about it. But we're going to get into those overall thoughts. But I just wanted to ask a question first. Ashley, who is this for? And when I say who is this for, I mean, I feel like the seasons before of Euphoria, you can pretty much pinpoint who it was for. But then there's a little twang here in this season, a little kink, if you will. A little fetishism, and it's gross, you know. But where I thought in the first episode that was just going to be that, and okay, here's Sam doing what he always does, trying to sink you in and hook you with that shock value. But there's no reason to kind of lead with that throughout the entire season, is there? No, Ashley, who is this for?
Sam and his ilk and his people. So here's the thing, right? And the reason why I waited so long to watch this one is because it was already very, very exploitative. Like, it was on the border of being pure exploitation for me. And you can tell going back now and watching it that he was actually scaling back. Like, he said, okay, these are supposed to be teenagers, right? They're supposed to be kids. But now that these people are adults, I knew where he was going. I knew exactly where he was going. I knew it was going to be bigger, badder, nastier, freakier, because I think this is what he wanted to do initially. I think this is what he wanted to do. The bigger ups or the people in the writer's room probably said, yeah, no. And when I saw the Tyler Perry thing at the end credits, I said, oh, he said, wrote, produced, directed, all by you, Sam. This is for him and for his people. Like, there's nothing else. I was grateful in the episode that we actually got someone that said, this is nasty. Get me the hell up out of here. And I said it in my video. I don't care if I'm kink shaming. I don't care. I don't like it. I don't want to see her dirty feet and cooch in my face. Like, I don't want to hear her dressing up as a baby, putting on diapers. Is that going to be the next episode? But again, I feel like this is par for the course. I feel like this is along the line of where we were before, but now there's no limits because these are officially adults now.
That's trash. This is corn, and y'all know what I mean by corn. This is corn. this is corn hub material. And sadly, I don't know. I think we took for granted all of the other people outside of Sam who was at the helm of those first seasons. All those women who must not be named, because Sam said, this is my project. Thank you for your services, but I'm going to take the reins moving forward. All y'all fired. We don't need y'all here. We need those women. We needed that feminine touch more than we know, because now that he's getting his Tyler Perry written, produced, and directed all by Sam energy, the taste level is disturbing. This is disgusting. This is snuff adjacent. And I don't know. I'm scared. And that's not good. I don't want to be scared. I just can't believe, especially when we get into Sydney Sweeney, I can vividly remember her way back pushing back at Sam, like, well, no, I'm not doing that. Can we make sure Cassie has on a top and some clothes in this scene? You know, I know, and you can imagine with how everything that we did get to see season 1 and 2, there was pushback because there was supposed to be even more nudity and all of these suggestive things. And Cassie, along with, you know, like a cat and a couple of others, was like, no, I'm not doing that. Zendaya never really had to worry about that because who taking off some clothes? Who doing a nude scene and love scene? Now Zendaya here. That's why in the first episode, when it was the gag and the suggestive camera angles and the saliva of it all, and the poop humor, I'm like, oh, Zendaya, you said okay, I'll do that. All right, cool. But leaving this here, Ashley, what were your overall thoughts of this episode?
You know, again, aside from all of this, and like I said, I don't expect anything different from these people. I feel like it's been debaucherous since it began. But honestly, there were a couple things that took me out, right? One of them was that CGI backdrop at Jules' apartment. That pissed me. I said, I thought you had money. I thought there was money here. Why are we doing this? The use of the N-word this episode pissed me the hell off because where did that come from? And why is it now all of a sudden readily on the tips of every non-Black's tongue there? And then finally, Angel the stripper. Her performance, Tyra, threw me all the way for a loop. I said, what is this? What are we doing? And again, I love women of color. I support representation. I love us in spaces, honey. But I needed us to go back to the drawing board. It really, like the whole exchange in the parking lot with her and Rue, y'all some BS, Nick. Like, what are we doing here? But overall, I really, really enjoyed Maddie. I love an origin story. I like, let's get it out the mud. Let's hustle. Let's figure it out. Overall, I think I gave it 2.5, 3 out of 5. Out of 5. It was fine, but again, I think the Maddie element, I think even her having the confrontation with Cassie, I think the whole Nate of it all was fine. But those couple things really got me off the bus, Tyra. It took me out of the space for it.
Girl, with the episode, as much as I'm loving Maddie, I don't know if she's enough in her story alone to keep me going. I could give a damn about what Rue has going on. And that is a flip for me because, you know, when has it not been all about Rue? But there's no change there. Unfortunately, we'll get to Nate. I don't know what that is. But Maddie is one of the few characters here who has grown. And it's like, oh, okay, this is interesting. This is something that we don't know her for. Like, let's really get into it. Everybody else, they are stuck in those same wells that they were in those past seasons. And now we sprinkle all of this nudity on there like that's supposed to make it better. I don't know. We'll get into it. I did not hate the episode, but I was like, oh, somebody in the back is happy. I'm not happy because this is not my crowd. But Sam, whoever you're trying to cater to or whoever commissioned this, yeah, you're getting your money's worth here in this season because this is very, very jarring for me. And I have a high tolerance. But starting here with my fave, because, you know, it wasn't too much of a story with anybody else. Maybe we'll get back to Lexi and get into something else. But Maddie management. Maddie said, I got a job. I was like, Maddie. I was so happy for Maddie just to know that she not only got a job, but she was hungry for the job. Let me tell you why you need me. Let me tell you what type of Gen Zer I'm not and why I need to be working for you. But it's not just for me. Sam, I'm a shop and closed down. Jobs are lost. I need to provide for myself and my family in the midst of this pandemic. I said, Maddie, you could never tell me that Maddie, whose ambition was in life was to do nothing. She said she don't want to do nothing. Maddie doesn't want to do anything. She just wants to be kept. But now to see her here really striving, but striving in a different way that maybe doesn't mix with the gen that she's working for. Because she said, who? Baby, this is what's happening right now. And unfortunately, this couldn't be more than true. The OnlyFans culture or the Instagram model adjacent, whatever you want to call it, they are having more of a shot in notoriety than your average little cookie cutter star in your up and coming film. Yeah, Maddie felt like if I could seek out this beauty and give the illusion of nudity, All right, we'll get over there with that. But if I could give the illusion of nudity and we could sell this and get into this OnlyFans culture and capitalize, and then I can put you over here with this heartthrob. And I didn't really mind that. I really love that aspect because we see these farce of relationships in Hollywood all the time. Like, this is PR. What's really going on here? But it's like, this is PR. I'm going to work it and you're both are going to be better and grow your brands for it. The boss said, no, get that heifer away from my starlet. We would never. This is a business. Maddie said, I can't give up these good benefits. I got bills to pay. Girl, I got to let you go. And she goes off and makes $700K plus more, leaving Maddie with the missed opportunity. And we'll get into who she tried to make that opportunity happen with later. But I'm happy for this. I was happy for Maddie. Was I happy for all the time and the imagery that we spent on our lead here? I don't even know Miss Mama's name, but we saw enough of her. We should know her name. I know what you look like, ma'am, but I could have done without that. Ashley, how did you feel about Maddie in this opportunity she tried to create for herself?
So here's the thing. I feel like again, I think in an effort just to continue to be salacious and have people talking and maybe feed whatever fetish they've got going on, they went in another direction. I think it would have been fine to do straight influencers, straight vanilla, not, that kind of content influencers, because they make a huge bag as well. Yeah. I don't think it had to be, especially when we incorporate Cassie in it. I could have definitely seen her as one of those like trad wife, type of influencers, or like the Mormon housewife type of influencer. I don't think it had to go to the gutter the way that it did. What I will say is I enjoyed Maddie's journey. I loved that she kind of humbled herself in this moment. When we met Maddie originally, it was very much like, my dream in life is to not work. Who dreams of work? I don't dream of that. I want to be a kept woman. And now we see her like with the world at her fingertips. It gave Barbara Streisand, I'm going to New York and I'm going to make a name for myself. Listen.
Mary Tyler Moore.
Yes. I'm going to make it after all. And so I actually love that. I love that she had racks of clothes in the projects with the concrete walls, living in a basement. I said, go off, Maddie. I love it that I'm approaching you in public. I'm not an issue. I'm not sensitive. I'm not delicate. And I won't be an HR issue. Hire me. So it's like immediately she has the grit. She's got the chutzpah to do it. And when the vid hit, and I didn't need another flashback to that, girl, I loved how she was able to pivot and say, okay, I see something here. I can help her do that. I think I always thought of Maddie as the on-camera talent. I always thought of her being in the front. So I think seeing her manage and be the one to take the pictures kind of threw me a little bit. But maybe this is maturing. I said, Maddie's a madam. I said, get the bag, sis. Pimp these hoes. Because ultimately, that's where the money resides clearly over here, Tyra. It doesn't reside anywhere else, but it resides in these OnlyFans streets.
I don't know why we had to go to the gutter and be depraved when the influencer culture is extremely strong and even more potent, because you don't have to go through all the channels because you are on the more salacious side with your content. We couldn't just do that. Every single character here needs to reside in a space of being depraved. Jules has to be a sugar baby. Rue has to be a slave. Cassie's just a nudist at this point. We have to be at the bottom of the barrel. Even here with Maddie, for a minute here, I didn't know exactly what she was selling. I was like, because I know we were being general, like, okay, Maddie is in charge of the girls. Maddie is giving madam, but it's like, if you do get enough, a ring of talent, the way that Richard Gere's son, Homer, he hasn't gotten enough screen time for me to really know his name and for it to stick. Dylan, it was like, she looks good. I was like, what are you selling, Maddie? Are you trying to set her up? Because we know that is a part of Hollywood also. So if we're going to just keep it at the content, let it be that. But I just wasn't sure. And I don't even like that with Maddie. I'm not sure whether or not she's really a madam out here trying to service some men with some women. I don't know.
When I saw the Rue connection, like, yeah, I really love working at the Silver Slipper. I said, okay, this is where we're going. So Maddie is going to take her tail over there to one of them strip clubs. That's
we
what
know what they're selling in there. We know what they're selling in there. Like, she couldn't just be an influencer. Like, no, we have to go through there, go down to the gutter every single time. but leaving and going over here, because I wanted to start here before we got into just ruin the episode overall, just because we didn't get confirmation last episode, and some of us, me being some, You wanted to have hope, even though everything in the first episode was telling you that Rue is still residing in crackhead hoodness. You know what? Maybe it's just, some high functioning weed smoking. No!
Baby.
Rue! It really pisses me off that we just couldn't meet Rue sober. Even if she relapsed later, like now, episode 2, or episode 1, we have to meet her still in a way. Why? I asked you for one thing, Sam. I asked you for one thing. I was really waiting for the moment that we got to see 100%. And we knew it was over. We knew it was over when she went down to the function, putting herself in those same familiar situations, dancing all at the party and let people shoot green apples off of her head. I said, okay, she's high. But I really think we are missing out on the meat and potatoes of this story. Once we got really serious, and it's like, well, pretty much after high school, we already knew with the open-endedness of the last season, I stayed sober all through, the rest of high school and senior year. And then after that, it was up. I relapsed in the worst way, and I called my mom, tried to come home, nothing. I would have loved to hear that phone call. I would have loved to hear that exchange. I would have loved to go over there with mom. And really, because the way Mama was fighting, she was fighting so much with and for Rue. So for her to give up, and we heard her say it last season, I have to walk away while I still can and really focus on Gia. And it's just like, we're going to gloss over that. We're going to go later and have our little discussion with Maddie and say, I haven't talked to my mother in 2 years and Gia won't even answer my phone calls. But that's that. Let's just get back into the other stuff. I want to go over here because I'm disappointed, Rue. Ashley?
I feel like that's where the heart of the story would lie, right? I think everybody who's been watching since day one or since season 1, episode 1, you've really been invested in what Rue's journey is going to end like. What is it going to be like? Is she ever going to be able to get this under control? And so, I know a crackhead when I see one. I knew she was cracked out last episode. However, she's actually functioning fairly well, right? So she's in her functioning addiction right now, even helping people do what they do. But when I heard the story about her and Jules, the reconnection of that, but it went really bad and I relapsed something terrible, I need to be over there. I need to see what happened. I need to see what caused the chasm between your mama. Did you actually put your whole hands on her this time? Last time you cussed her out and kicked the door down. But what else happened? What transpired to get you to this point? And now to the point that you are now, you still have a relationship with Lexi. I feel like that 5 years, we're just missing so much meat of the story. How did you feel when Fez was sentenced to 30 years? That was your family. Y'all called each other family. And I feel like you're just leaving us here on a hill. Gia loved her down bad. You couldn't tell me Storm Reed didn't love this lady in the worst way. And now she's not talking to you. Like you said, I think we need to get the pieces, and that could be coming later on. I was surprised we got the whole little trip to the big city, and and then it got really bad, and I was in this, and I had to get out. I wanted to know that, and like you said, I want to hear from Mama, and I think we will. But Rue, I wanted so much more, and I just don't think we're ever going to get a sober Rue. I wanted to know who Rue is outside of the drugs. That's what I wanted.
Well, I guess we gotta wait on that. Like, y'all don't have a lot of time here, and clearly we're spending time doing other things and prioritizing nudity and depraved mess. Thank you so much, J Buggin, for the super chat. If he doesn't show Rue's mom and sister, I'll be mad. I know Rue's mom is here, but I do know for a fact that Gia is not present in the show. We will not be getting any Gia, which is unfortunate because I wanted to hear that. Had Gia screaming in the street, "Get her, mom! Come on, Rue!" I'm exhausted. Wore them people out. But Professor Pookie Wayne. Child, welcome to slavery. I was like, oh my God. Rue? This is depressing. Rue is the cleanup woman in every single way. I'm cleaning up after y'all, cleaning up after pigs, cleaning up after lost lives over here with Trish, trying to make sure there's not a trace of her DNA left around here because we have to do whatever with her body. I'm doing all the brunt work, trying to prove my worth up to the point that I move up in the ranks and I'm working at the titty twister or whatever, the sliver slipper, the So the hoes working with the women, working over there. But in the midst of that, the story just doesn't move to me. Now, as much as I was happy to see Pookie Professor Wayne, shout out to KC Undercover. If you was over there in them Disney streets, especially with your children, you know she was over there in Dwayne Wayne. Kadeem Hardison was her father. So I did like this full circle moment because I just don't feel like Sam Levinson is that shabby. I feel like Zendaya gave a word. She said, call Kadeem. He can take this role. Call my TV dad. He can take this role. I feel like Zendaya made a call and I appreciate that. But once we just briefly turn off the lights at the gas station and mom, I can't come home and I just want to, and it was just like lights off. Let's get back over here. We getting a spicy Latina. I said, where y'all find her? Where you guys find her? We already have to deal with the cocaina on the titties. And when she got on her knees and asked that man if he showered today, I said, all right, girl, I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. Once we got over here with Rue, I said, Rue, you blowing backs out now? Rue, you really out here sexing people up now. You getting all the moans from the van in the parking lot. Oh, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. But it gets real sexual instantly, and that's how we get into the sobriety. Because, you want to have a little party favor and have a little party with me in the back of this van. It's like, well, yeah, I'm down for that because I ain't been sober and I don't know how long. Okay, but once we have this, and I thought this was going to be, I was like, are we trying to form a bond and a relationship with Angel? And a part of your arc is going to be y'all getting closer and you having to maintain this secret because in fact, what happened to Tish and her behavior and her tantrums are escalating over and over and over to the top. You will never hit Dwayne Wayne with a shoe heifer. No, Rue confesses immediately. She's like, yeah, she's dead. She overdosed. That breakdown in the bathroom. Who was on set? Besides Sam, who let that go? Because girl, if you need another take and you need to do that breakdown one more time, you do it again because that was hilarious for all the wrong reasons. I said ew. Ew. But in the midst of that, it's just like, this is the rest stop to nowhere. Kadeem's been here for 15 years and I might be here for 15 years myself. I'm actually happy here. At least it's not with Lori. At least there's all the drugs I might want, some girls and some titties in that. That's just really not enough. I don't feel like we got any further with Alamo. It's just very, well, yeah, she's getting turned out. She's slipping on the job. She's way, way, way beyond the way you need to operate in this space. I need you to get her to rehab, and then maybe I'll let you move up in the ranks. So then that becomes her responsibility. And then it wasn't even like a full circle moment of, I understand where you are and I've been there and I'm dropping you off at rehab just like my mom and Gia. And this is so reminiscent. You're still an addict. Functioning or not, you're still an addict. So this is not the full moment that I guess they wanted it to be. We'll get into Lori and Alamo and all the ninjas. But actually, how did you feel about this and our spicy Latina?
Girl, she pissed me off. She immediately put you hoe ass. Like who are you talking to and who gave you permission to say that word? But outside of that, I just think her performance was terrible. I really, really hated that interaction with Rue that she has, especially when we go out into the parking lot. You can't effing make me go to rehab. I was like, girl, like what?
Terrible acting. Terrible.
The one thing I haven't complained about, out of all the things I've complained about watching all these seasons of Euphoria, has not been the acting. These young people, for the most part, do really, really well. This was completely different. I said, oh my God, you just took me completely out of it. I don't believe anything you're doing, anything you're going for. Like, as soon as you open your mouth, sister, I was like, yeah, no. That did not work for me. Now, Rue corralling the hoes, I knew when poor Professor Pookie, when he said, yeah, no drugging on the clock, no screwing, no any of that. I said, Rue hasn't met a rule that she doesn't want to break. This is going to end badly in one way or another. But it was nice to see Kadeem. I love me some Dwayne Wayne. Some Professor Wayne. I love him so bad. So that was like the bright spot of it all. As far as Rue taking this interest, and now I can handle it. I can deal with her because, I'm Rue and I know about addiction. I've never been on this side of it. Baby, you're still not on this side of it, but you're taking her to what might be her end. as it turns out, because the rehab looked very suspect. No sign in, no sign out. The people rolling up immediately after you pull up. It looks very, it's giving very much trafficking. I don't know where they're going with that, but it's
Jeez, I
very
hope
odd.
not.
I fear Rue is like, maybe I'm safer with the blacks than I was over there with Lori. The whole conversation between Alamo, Lori, and her number one henchman very much gave slavery as well.
Mhm.
Rue's ours. That's our gal. You hardy are what? And then
Yeah,
that's not even what pissed Alamo off. It's
the
the pig.
pig.
You're a pig. Rue owes me money. Well, now you kill one of my hoes, I take one of yours. What? Like, I just, it's so, Alamo's character could have been great. I really feel like they've made him so cartoonish and so much of a caricature of
Mhm.
what they expect black pimping to be, I guess.
Black
In
pig.
this space. I don't know, but it really completely takes me out of it. And I don't want to, because I think the storyline has potential. You already know Rue's going to get in trouble with these people. You already know Lori's people aren't going to stop. This is going to create some sort of war. But what I did find interesting is that Alamo found Lori. He said when he found her, she was just a hoe from a
The only
crackhead
thing we
from the
got.
burbs, right? So I'm
Mhm.
very interested to see if they'll go back maybe, and we can see what that story was like, how he put her on the game and all that. But yeah, as far as Angel and the Rue of it all, I could give a damn. I'm really surprised that Rue was so, she's no better than a man, Tyra. When
It
she
don't
was
matter if
sitting
you
there in
got some
that
titties in a hole. We're going over there.
and looking at the cooter like that, like she don't have her own, I was like, Rue, what are you doing? Objectifying these girls. But we'll see, girl. I don't know. I think she replaced one master for another with this
Yeah,
situation.
absolutely. Like, and I was like, where are we going with this? Because the rehab looks so shabby. I was like, are we? Because and he does not give. It's like, yeah, when you have enough holes, you're playing for stuff like this. Like, oh my god, you're so nice. You're gonna send her to rehab? That's kind. I was like, ain't nobody doing any of that. Was this just a ruse to make this literally her final destination, or is she really going to get sober and get some help there? Because it wasn't given that. It gives you drop him off in the back and you're never going to see him again. And is Rue going to be like indebted with all this guilt because I just, oh my god, I took her there. I convinced her to go. I don't know. Because Rue hasn't asked enough questions. We don't know anything about Alamo's character. It's just, well, it's not Lori. And there's drugs and boobs here, so I'm happy. I don't know. It's like, don't you hear all of this indentured slavery in the background? All these terms that they're using to refer to you? This is wild. But leaving that and getting over here with these two, I say, oh, Sam think he Quentin Tarantino. I don't know why we are trying to normalize the use of the N word.
I don't know either.
Why? Because that would be the only reason for you to have this black southern go western man. He's more insulted at the pig. How dare she? Did you hear? You know, how dare she go? But it was the pig that really got under my skin. Oh, I need to remind her of who's really in charge here and where she got to start from. So we're gonna leave this. You will never put me in a situation to see Faye getting the Mario coins knocked out of her back. Please. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Why are we here for so long? Faye says, is it a dinosaur? Faye has so much potential to be a really good comedic relief, but I don't even know why she's here besides that one scene. But it's like, well, yeah, I'm gonna remind you of who's really big here and who's in control. I'm gonna put this pig in the middle of your living room and it's gonna ish everywhere. But this is the start of a war, it seems. Are we really gonna be going? Do you want to go to war? Are we gonna be going to war over Rue? Really? That's gonna be the catalyst, Rue? I I want to be interested. This henchman over here, I don't even know his name, but he's so mysterious. It seems like he's a secret killer, dealer. You just never know. It's very unhinged, you know? There is so much potential here with the little henchman and what could be a rivalry here. Because he has this kind of Western, spaghetti Western vibe happening this season or whatever. But I'm not invested in nothing that they have going on. Rue owes me money. Girl, please give her something else to say, Sam. You can write. I know that that's her little thing and her little moniker. Give her something else to say. Well, you're a bad man. You're a pig. You're slop. Oh, well, yeah. We have to do this. The incident occurred. It was your fault. The scales weren't clean, and now my girl is lost. So now I'm going to take yours, and Rue is just there along for the ride. I don't know if someone was coming and pulling up to take Angel, because we're going to normalize that N word. Oh, you nigga, I can't. Stop it. It's never going to go like that. But we dropped her off and we noticed that someone in the back was watching. It's like, is this someone sent via Lori, or is this someone sent all behind Angel to make sure that she doesn't come on back to the titty twister again? I don't know, Ashley. How did you feel about the exchanges in those scenes, and what do you think Sam thought they gave? And are you maybe interested in this war that could happen because you owe me money, Rue?
I honestly, I feel like again, it's so much of a departure when we get over here. And when because I wanted to look up, because I was like, what's the genre this season? And they say it goes from, high school drama to surreal adult neo Western is what we're supposed to be looking at it like. And I'm like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense as to why these characters are so comedic. Like they give very much cartoonish, like, oh, Kokomo Joe, I'm here to pick you up and pick off your things and get my drugs and get my hoes, back on the I don't know, Tyra. I don't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the ends of it all. I will say I do agree. I think that the number one little henchman, he seems interesting. He seems quite stoic. But again, it still gives very much like comic book characters kind of when we get over here. And I never thought that's what this show was. I thought these were real people having their lived experiences and how they kind of intersected, and they were salacious and kind of went off on a tangent. But this feels like it's like a completely different story. Like it's laughable instead of like intense, right? Because I think when we were dealing with Ashtray and Fez and everything that they were going through,
Mouse was intense as hell.
Listen, we were going through real situations. We were scared if Rue was going to get her cookies taken. We were worried if Fez was going to have to pop, lock, and drop somebody, how we're going to cover up Ashtray's bodies that he was collecting, like action figures. And now it's like just kind of laughable. And I don't know. I don't understand the concept of it. I don't know why they went there with this. But I guess he has a vision. This has always been a certain it's always had a certain perspective, right? The set design, the outfits, the costuming, it's always been. But this just feels like it's taken over to a whole other side. And I've yet to discover why Rue is that important to Alamo. I get why Lori doesn't want to leave her. She's her number one mule, right? She's swallowing 30 balloons a day. But as far as Alamo, why would you take such a big risk at this war with Lori if she is in fact so formidable? I think they have to flesh that out for me more in order for me to actually be invested, because I don't believe it right now.
I don't know. At first, I was like, you can't see the potential in Rue. Like, I'm a flipper and make her one of my girls. Rue, yes, give us nothing. Rue ain't giving you, the highest bidder type energy. Come on down and see my new girl, Rue. Come on up and see me sometime, big boy. It was never given that. But all we've got in the midst of that conversation, oh, you one of the gays, huh? You like the girls, yeah. And are we gonna get something else? Is Rue gonna? I mean, I can understand who Rue is. She's not gonna inquire too much. I just know it's not Lori, and I don't have to swallow any balloons and go to Mexico. But flesh him out. This is a really great actor, and he gives villainy in the worst way possible. He's very intimidating, and it's going to waste here so far. We're not really giving him anything to say, and the show is residing like in this fine space, because it's not Euphoria. We are somewhere in the middle of neo-noir, spaghetti western, blaxploitation adjacent, but it's all not coming together to go, oh yeah, if you blink twice and spin around, it's still Euphoria in it. There's no Euphoria. I don't know what's going on here and why we should care, but hopefully we'll figure out why he wants to go to war. All about Rue, because what is Rue offering you that the next person can't? Thank you so much. I ain't going to no rehab. Accent sound fake as I don't know. I saw a couple of comments that was like, it wasn't her. It was Sam. She can act.
Oh, okay.
You keep that. You hold on to that in your purse, because I ain't see that. I was like, oh my God.
Need to see her in something else, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I said, where you find her at? I love to see new faces and stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Can you make sure you're hiring someone for more than just their pretty face? Because it's not giving. Okay. How much is that doggy in the window? That doggy must be pretty damn high. Is this all we're gonna do with Cassie? Is this all we're going to do with Cassie? I never needed to see Sydney's titties this often. I never did. I never did. I definitely need to see them in a house, on a couch with a mouse. Not here, not there, not anywhere. I do not like green eggs and hams. I never needed to see them this much. I don't know what we're going for. If we're gonna lean so hard into this, I need him to lean even harder into what Cassie is missing internally to need this much validation. Because it ain't all about those flowers. It really ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm trying. I need to make some money because you're broke, and I need the wedding of my dreams, and I need those flowers. This is about something that's going on inside of Cassie. There was always a need to be performative and lead with her sex and her body from the first boy that she met, from the first time that they ever posted her, to McKay, to Nate, to everybody. This is all that I have to offer. Who am I without that? And I need to feel validated. I don't think she's getting what she needs as far as Nate anymore. So she's trying to go out and seek it elsewhere. And it's even better now because I get to get paid for what I do best. But nobody's really chirping around it just yet. So I need to go and just push the boundary and try to feed every single audience, every single fetish, every single clicks and views. Somebody's gonna pick me. Do we have to see it? That poor maid. Oh my God. That poor lady. Oh my goodness. It's so many stereotypes here and caricatures. It's really sad. But this is borderline. And I don't really feed into everybody like, look at this. Look at this ritual. Look at this humiliation ritual. I don't know. It is over there. This is, I just don't know as far as Sydney in her career, in her future as an actress, what this could be doing for her. Besides showing that there's no boundary and there's nothing that she's not willing to show or do in a scene to, get engagement or get that cute check. I don't know. But between her and the actress earlier with Maddie, I was so spent and grossed out with this episode. Ashley?
Yeah, Caitlin, our girl Caitlin in the beginning. Other than, maybe some sort of allegiance or loyalty to Sam because he put her on and gave her did he give her big break with Euphoria?
I'm sure
season one?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I suppose that's what it is. I mean, I think we all know what's up with Cassie as far as her deep-rooted issues. Lexi called it out in the play. We know her daddy was a crackhead who stole their stuff and ran out. Her mama was an functioning alcoholic. And so she's always had this thing of, I just want to be loved. I don't care by who, by when, by anybody. And I think now, especially in the predicament that Nate finds himself in currently, he's probably not doting on her in the way, giving her the attention that she so desperately desires. And so now I got to get it, from somewhere else. Again, this is not what I envisioned for Cassie based on what we'd seen of Cassie in respect to Nate, right? Mm-hmm. He very much participates in respectability politics. He very much is, what it looks like to the outside world. I'm one of the bros. I can't have my wife out here doing that. That's an embarrassment. And you would think she would acquiesce to whatever. But again, episode 1, she had more lip than I ever thought she'd have for Nate. So something's happened in those 5 years. I don't know if she's lost respect for him, if she no longer kind of fears him, or if he's just not paying enough attention to her. But yeah, this is a sad hole to dig yourself in. And again, they're not living bad. I mean, the house needs to be renovated, of course, but she's driving a brand new Mercedes, living her best life, getting her roots done. So it's like, what are you resorting? And you have a maid. You have a maid, clearly a living maid, Juana, who's there putting up with all manner of your ill. This just, it's quite sad to me. Again, like you said, if she had really protested before about, I don't like this, I don't like that, why not walk off like Kat did? The actress who played Kat said, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not interested. I'm going to go my own way. Why not do that? She's got some sort of appeal they're trying to push on the rest of the world. They're giving her movies left and right. So, I mean, they've been trying to spread it to us that she is the bee's knees and the thing that all men crave and want. So
the good blue jeans.
Yeah, the good jeans. But I've never understood it. So Like, girl, do what you
I
gotta
I don't know. It puts me in a way because this is just episode 2 and this is not over. For me, with how much is here, this is something that I would think would be like scattered throughout the season just to let us know her agenda and what her character is on. She's quite desperate, but all of this in 1 hour episode, if you split this, it's half of the episode is just strictly this fetish subculture adjacent activity, and then the rest is just everybody else. That's too much. And it's like, are we going to be doing this every single episode? I don't know. Sydney, put that up. Put that up, Sydney. But getting over here, baby. The way Maddie pulled up in this fur coat, I said, Maddie,
take it off.
Maddie said, stunting on you hoes. Stunting. Who not stunting? Who ain't got no money? Who? Not me. Let me come on down here. I didn't know how this was going to go in the first episode. Via the trailer, I thought there would maybe be a moment where Maddie reached out to Cassie and it's like, oh, I still know exactly who you are. You haven't changed. I can use you. No, Cassie reached out. I was like, oh, so you just validated any and everything that Maddie's about to do. Because you reached out and it wasn't on some, oh, I miss my friend. I need to. No, we saw her scrolling last episode. Like, look at her, all successful, making a name for herself. I want some of that. I need some of that. Matter of fact, she can help me. Let me reach out to her, but maybe disguise it under the guise of, hey friend, remember that time back in high school with Nate? I should have asked you for permission. I should have asked you for permission. And Matt is like, you dumb. She be wanting to cuss Cassie out so bad. She's like, you literally waited all the way to the moment that you're about to get married to validate your relationship with him, to go, well, see, what I did really wasn't that bad because this is the love of my life. If not, we wouldn't be getting married or have lasted this long. But I should have asked you for permission. Sorry. And it's like, yeah, let me go and liquor you up so we can really get into what we came here for. And it's like, well, I'm great. The ego is out here. So I'm fabulous. I'm blonde. I have titties out to here. The ass is assing. I'm one of the most beautiful girls in California, and I'm not getting any traction. I don't know what it is. I'm serving it up like I'm doing everything. What's wrong with my pictures, Maddie? She's like, well, you look desperate. Your hair's uneven. You look desperate, Cassie. Nobody wants to buy into desperation. You have to sell it and package it a certain way. You can't just be giving it out. You can't be just trying to cater to anybody and pushing it too far. And it's just like, well, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to invite you to my wedding and we're going to do this on the low. And Maddie's thinking what we're thinking. I'm here for it. You're not going to know what's going on in my private life and what type of bags I'm having and why I really need you at this moment. But Nate said it's okay for you to be out here doing nudes and yeah, I asked for permission. It's fine. Okay. We'll see what happens with that later. But I am not mad. Cassie showed up here and showed her ass to me. She showed her ass and showed her own like whole hand. She didn't even lead with what could have been. I think this would have been a different conversation if it was just like sincere. And I really want to show up here for you as the friend that I lost. And it's just like, no, I really could give a damn about that. Girl, can you help me? Because I'm trying to pop off. Okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you and be real cool about it. Ashley, where do you think that this is going? And how did you feel about this meeting?
To the bank. Maddie going to the bank. Listen, she's going to have her out here doing all kind of stuff to get a cute coin. And I'm not mad at it. Here's the thing. There was an uneasy peace made in the end of season 2 with the two of them. It was not a, I forgive you, I love you, girl. Let's be besties for the restie again. It was very much like, all right, he's your problem now. Good riddance and God bless. So now coming here, when Cassie sent the hey big head DM, I said, oh, okay. I knew exactly where we were going. She's seen how Maddie's moving. I loved when but girl, why do you have a fur coat on in the summertime?
And leather gloves.
Listen. But the way that Cassie was gagged, like, you look really good. Like, you look great. You look rich. You look like
did you want to be down bad?
Like, you look great. Like, what's really good? And so, yeah, and I loved hearing Maddie's inner dialogue, like, oh, this hoe hasn't learned anything. She's as slow as she was in high school. She still doesn't know who she is. She's still willing to bend. So let me talk about her real bad, really quick, because you look thirsty, you look desperate, you look dry. That's why you're not getting any engagement on your post. But come to me, sis, and I'll work it out for a cute 25-30%. I'll put you on, sis. And I'm not mad at it because get your bag, Maddie. At the end of the day, Cassie still hasn't given a genuine apology for the betrayal. And that's what it was ultimately. It was cute. I'm interested to see what this wedding gonna look like and if Maddie's gonna be there. Also very curious because Nate's not going to love the fact that Cassie makes more money than him. So being that it's at the hand of Maddie, what's that going to look like? Are we going to revisit the Nate Maddie timeline again?
Nate lost me at my Maddie. My Maddie?
My Maddie? Listen.
You don't belong. Listen. She does not belong to you. What do you mean, my Maddie? My Maddie? Oh. My Maddie? Excuse me? Madison? Maddie, just Maddie, not your Maddie. She does not belong to you. But Maddie said it's too to play the game. She said, you know me. I don't need no introduction in this. How she pulled up. She pulled up in fur. You know me. I don't need no introduction in this. I absolutely loved it. Let me get this super chat before I go to the next slide. Thank you so much for the super chat. Love y'all ladies big. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you back. Thank you.
We like big love. We like money that we like love that folds. But I'm here for it. I think that this is going to be messy because Cassie feels like she has full control in this moment. And I apologize. So she's just going to do what I said. No, girl, that wasn't enough. But she said they were on a break. Nobody. Oh, my God. The way she was sobbing. You couldn't tell Cassie that she was wrong back then. And she's not wrong now. They were on a break. He loves me. Shut up, Cassie. Jules pulled up looking like strike a pose. Big money, real rich. Say, oh, this needs to pause and have us go back to the back because I need to know. Whatever Rue, I don't think it takes all that much for us to relapse. But the fact that Rue rolled up here and you supposedly had your biggest relapse after school over Jules and whatever missteps happened in your relationship. So you come back over here, which is why I'm sure Jules was like, so you're trying to stay away from things that could ruin your life. And you came to see me. You came to see me? But we're in college. We're hanging out with Lexi. We have our nice, apartment. And it's all the artsy fartsy of it. And then we're a sugar baby. What happened? What happened? What fell off the shelf to get us from point A to B? We have to give us more than that. Hopefully we retread that maybe when we get into Jules' perspective. Y'all know how the show works. We go from everybody. But in the midst of this, I just would never understand. Y'all are really just hot in the body all about Rue. I just can't. Y'all hot in the pants all about Rue. Rue. We already knew how Rue was coming sexually. Maybe she's came a long way in 5 years. I don't know. Maybe she a super freak. Maybe she a super licker. I don't know. But Jules is not just, your average sugar baby. Baby, I say, does this go to the penthouse? Where we at? This lofty loft, that tired CGI skyline of it all. We're going to leave that alone. Just the layout of it. It was so lavish and so rich. And I'm like, who you with? Who's sponsoring your lifestyle? And it's just like, well, yeah, are you happy here? Because the word on the street, via Maddie, she's a hooker. Maddie. Yeah, it's like, well, what is the relationship? Is he married? What is that? Yes. So what if he is? What if she knows? What if that is? I don't care about that. That's not neither here nor there. He wasn't using this apartment, so now I live of it, and he takes care of me. Like, we need some more. This is so out of character for Jules for me. It's her kind of being caged and kept. I don't know what the lifestyle looks like, but this doesn't feel like something. The Jules who couldn't wait. I hate high school. I can't wait to leave and spread my wings, and the flower child of it all. She's here just being a kept, pampered princess and providing a service. I just feel like this is where Sam wanted to go because, Hardwig, soft life, kept, We're trying to get to that soft life. We just wanted to cater to a certain audience, and this is that. But I don't think that this matches all that well with Jules' character, and I don't care what she was doing first season. We know, and even with that, that was a part of Jules being troubled and having just transitioned and confusing things with her sexuality and what she deserved from her partner. And it's just, I can meet men in these hotel rooms and be used in this way. There's a fine line between that and whatever this is. Is this just a singular sugar baby? Do you have one? Do you have multiple men? Like, what does this look like? But in the midst of that, Rue's like, well, you know what? I guess you ain't feeling Big Mama no more. Let me drink my little scotch and go on home. So, girl, you ain't gonna come keep me company? I ain't say that. I need that. You need that from Rue. Do you? If you say so, because the van wasn't rocking. But we'll see where this goes. Clearly, neither one of them are okay because I think they bring out the worst in each other. But we're still gonna have sex and get it in. Ashley?
It was you getting in this tub with me, because Rue definitely needed a bath. But let's get into it, Tyra. Let's talk about it, because listen, I'm never going to be opposed to a woman getting paid for it, for what she was giving away for free. Let it subsidize your life, and I think it speaks to something. I think it speaks to something deeper. I think there has been an innocence loss. So, like, as much as we saw her engaging in like hypersexual behavior and all of that season 1, there was still this naivete. Like, there was still this very much innocent girl there. I think innocence is lost now. I think this is the pragmatic, like, really, let me look at the world. Like, no, I don't believe in monogamy. I think this is what it is. I do something for him, he does something for me. So I don't think that Jules has ever healed. Jules was a desperately broken young girl, and now I think a desperately broken young woman. Like, we're not going to just gloss over the mother issue and all of that. Not only that, being the person that wanted to change you just inherently, right, but also the woman who left and was on drugs and had her own journey, now involved with another drug addict crackhead that you've clearly had a big falling out with in these 5 years. We don't know what the result of that was. I honestly just think this is a culmination of her life experiences, and I think there's a loss of innocence. She doesn't have that light in her eye. She does not appear to be happy or like have an internal joy. And I think this is just over time. I think this is being broken. I think this is what her version of broken looks like. And if this is what it is, girlfriend, I mean, I'd rather be broken in a penthouse than in the gutter with Rue. Honestly, I really would. She's living good. I said, oh, she got money.
She got money.
I said, she well kept. All right, sister. And she got a 50-inch bust down too, Tyra. Listen, Jules is over here collecting the bag. And I'm never going to be mad at it. But I do think we have to look at it like this is still a very unhealed person. I don't think, it doesn't appear that she's done any of the work that she would have needed to do to be whole.
I don't know. It's hard for me to be invested and sympathize with a situation we didn't get to see. We're just left to guess what happened. And that little piece of flashback isn't enough. Now, if we go over there and we really get to see Jules' journey, then I can understand. But right now, this is a leap for me. The Joy Luck Club is sucked out of Jules' life. Okay, I need to understand why. Okay, I need to understand why you over here laying alone and spreading it wild with Rue. Like, girl, you could have had anybody. You want Rue?
He bathed her first, though. I said, yeah.
I was like, Rue doesn't even look like she shower on the regular. She don't look like she wash her lady parts. I don't know. That's probably why she said you gonna come get in this tub. Get in this tub first, and then keep me company. I want to see, not the 50-inch bust down.
Listen, I said, oh, where'd you get that wig? And then she took it off and it was hanging in the bathroom. I said, all right, Jules, go and hang it up.
Money. Let's go over here with Cal. Cal said, who? Hedonism? Me? Gay? Never. I was never gay. I'm not gay no more. I'm delivered. This was sad to kind of get through, because you could tell that the ALS is taking over a lot of his mobility and the way he's able to really project and act. Because we seen what Cal can go in a scene, and a lot of Cal's acting was extremely physical, but somehow Sam could direct these scenes in a way and give some type of grace and restraint to make it that. But Cal said jail where? I ain't go to jail. Why you go to jail, Cal. You were supposed to be doing time, my boy. No jail. No jail. No bars. No jail. He didn't go to jail. He's just been out laying low in the midst of Cali because the name is mud. I can't move like I used to as far as a businessman because he was successful, but I'm just getting by, probably still doing a lot of depraved acts. But when Cal said, if I could go back, my family. Cal, please. You hated them people's stinking guts. They were staying on your existence in your life and why you couldn't live out loud. Now it's like, oh, I was just coveting other sex and things that I didn't have. But if I would have known then what I know now, I would have went over there with my wife and kids. If you say so, Cal. But Cal is not just that. He's the morale police because he's here. He said, son, do you need some money? Why am I hearing in the grapevine that Cassie's titties are on display? And we'll get to Nate. But the way Nate said, what? You were effing in the... What you mean you're not gay? Dad, please. But this was very civilized. This was a very civilized conversation. It seems like Cal may check in more often and they may talk more normal now. But the fact that we could do all of that we saw, and then we get here and it's just, Dad, please, you are very much so gay. I don't want to hear that. I'm making these patties in this kitchen. Let's get to the point. Cal says, son, are you okay? Do you need some help? No, I'm fine. Everything's good. Ashley, how did you feel about Cal?
Did he ask if he needed help? I know he said, are you having money troubles? I didn't hear him offer. I maybe I was in and out. So it could have been. If he offered help, fine. But that was one of my biggest critiques. I was like, if you see that he's struggling, and I know Nate was, in his pride, but for hedonist and all, he was able to run a successful development company for all of those years. He was the biggest developer wherever they were. And I really thought, like, your son's struggling, he's not managing well. You see that. But you're here again. It did take me out. Eric Dane, like you said, was in, the development of his disease. And I was like, what? I don't know. I wanted to know how he avoided jail. Like, that was the flashback I really needed. Because how did you stay out the pinta? Did you spend all your money? Because he looked kind of poorish to me when he came in there in those pants, the drawstring, the little Florida shirt on. I said, what's going on? And then Nate, but clearly he knew where Nate lived. So this is a relationship that he's carrying on. I thought the whole, you're gay, you lived a lot of secrets and lies. And I'm thinking, Nate, are you like, you've lived a lot of secrets and lies too, Buckaroo.
It's a different Nate.
Oh, this is a different Nate. Okay. But yeah, the Cal converse, it was fine. I don't know. Again, I really question, like, I was like, Eric, why did you want to do this? Why did you want this to be like your last work on the earth? Like, I don't know why he came back over here for this. I didn't like it. And then also trying to screw the maid. Because wanna come and sit on my lap. I've got something.
He said he's a hedonist. He's all about pleasure. I'm trying to get it in anywhere with anybody. What you doing later? Don't matter. When we met Cal, he had a very clear preference for who and what he wanted. So I don't know why we're getting here and we're delivered. And it was just all about pleasure more so than a sexual preference. I was like, we were being very picky.
About what you're calling it. You were sticking your peen in booty hole, sir. Is that not like?
I want some more. I thought Cal was going to be here maybe on the sidelines because, son, I do know that the situation happened with me and you took over the business, but it was the family business. This is something that I worked for and created my entire life. I'm not going to sit and watch you run it into the ground. Like, yeah, I don't know if he's here to do that. I'm like, what are we going to do with him moving forward? Because him coming here and, fresh out, he on his T Grizzly, you ain't even fresh out because you never went to jail to begin with. No, but let's get into Nate. Everybody's just down bad. Everybody's just down bad. I said, is this a loan shark? Is this the bookie? You've been robbing Peter and them and paying Paul to keep this business afloat with this facade that you're a true and righteous businessman. I'm not getting the lease and the permits to really move like I need to and build, but I need to keep up the illusion that I am. So I borrowed all of this money, upwards of $500,000 and $600,000, and this man wants his money back. So
Right.
this is why your ass is whipped in that trailer. This is why you got beat up. Because that's not something that we can just come up with on the fly. It's just failing, and I'm trying to keep up this rouge and also keep Cassie satisfied and pay for this wedding. You don't have any money. We go out of our way to set up a whole little get together and backyard barbecue. Because if I can swindle some investors and make it look like they're investing and I do have some money and the business is up and up, then I can use that to pay this man and get him off of my back. The whole arc here of Nate just not wanting to be a failure. I need to look like a success no matter what's going on. There's that. Whatever. Nate is reformed. What is going on with Nate? What is happening? His relationship with Cassie is something that I never thought I would see. And it's not like I need to take any more disgusting power dynamics here. I don't know if Sam felt like I gave y'all that so much in the past and in the other seasons. Here we're gonna change it, and it's gonna be a reversal. And Cassie, like, is he trying to make her empowered because she's so not empowered in the position that she is over there on OnlyFans? So we're gonna reverse it here in the relationship. We don't want it to look too bad. We don't want it to be too disgusting. So we're gonna do this. And now he's a little soft paw. Excuse me, Cassie in this airhead. Cassie was never like the smartest one in the bunch, but this is something else. Cassie is acting flat out dumb as here. Just dumb. Dumb, blonde. An airhead. She's so excited about the thing, and I got these pictures, and I said the pictures that we saw, the stuff that we saw. Hey, friend, yeah, you, come on back here. I want to show you something. All loud at this function. Come on over here and see my pictures. Why? Are you this delusional that you don't really know? And you know that something is going on, or you wouldn't be complaining 24/7 about the ghetto wedding and the flowers and what kind of income he doesn't have. But I'm here to pretend that I do have some, to get these people to invest in my pipe dream so I can keep somebody off of my back. And then you bring somebody who's a potential investor's wife in here to show her your disturbing pictures. She's like, what the hell? Cassie, are you sick? Who would want you to wear a diaper and dress up like a baby? Oh my god! Oh my god! You, girl, there's so many different sub coaches. You'll be surprised what people pay for, and you're gonna do it. Yeah, okay. You hold that, husband. Husband, get in here, as if it's not gonna make its rounds and everybody in the community is gonna know exactly what Cassie's doing and what she's serving up. She said, yeah, I think they're broke. Something's going on. Something's unclean in the water. She's over here being desperate with these photos. Well, no, Nate has money. She said, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because it's looking like we maybe don't need to invest in anything he has going on if she over there serving it up. Nate goes, Cassie, let me see your phone. I'm like, and? and it's not like I want to see this reckless, abusive type of behavior. You know where Nate can go. Mm-hmm. Nate is a freaking psycho. But how reserved he is, and it's like, oh, babe, like we talked about this, babe. Like, I don't think you need to do that. But if you could afford it, if you could get the flowers, maybe I wouldn't have to. I'm like, you just gonna let Cassie pop off like this? Nate is very much so about good old American ways and appearances. I could give a damn what's really going on in here. I could be struggling, but we need to present something as a home front. What you're not going to do is be out here serving it up and showing everybody everything and making it look a certain way. It was all about an image for him. And I'm like, are we trying to flip it here and make it seem like, oh, well, you thought that you were getting something different with Cassie. You probably made a mistake and you should have took your ass over there with Maddie. Maddie would never do this. The way Maddie would have played her role, would have never had you outside looking any kind of way. But she is, and we don't have boo to say about it. We even in a way, if we did decide to reprimand her, we do it in private. And it's very soft, babe. Now, look, I come from a home in a place where there was just so many lies and secret and just, I can't do that. I don't want that here. Not in my family, not in my house. All right, babe, I deleted it. It's fine. Well, okay. Well, I'm going to be doing this with Maddie. You're Maddie. And that's just that. But I'm listening. Okay, well, kiss, kiss. I don't know what's happening here, but if this is just a reformed Nate, I guess. Ashley?
Oh, Nate's ass ain't reformed. I don't know who they're trying to sell this to. Sell it to somebody else because I'm not buying it for a second. Looking like the Rat Pack with that soccer mom haircut pissed me off. Because, Nate, why do you have sideburns? Why do you have that deep side bang? I'm over it. I'm over Nate and I'm over Cassie completely. I really feel that Cassie is just a dingbat. I really think that she's slow. She's
This much?
like, there's got to be something because there's no way your husband is here trying to recruit investors and doing a good job of it, and you're tearing down everything he's trying to build and he's trying to build to support the lifestyle that you want accordingly. Like this was so silly. I fear Cassie would be a detriment to anybody, really, because those people aren't even your friends. I think she's talking to Maddie earlier in the episode, and she's like, yeah, you should see my friends' husbands when they come over. Those are not your friends. If you're trying to entertain and seduce their husbands with your bikinis at the pool party, like, these are not your real friends. These are your fake friends. You do not show them your private wares. And it's like, you're showing this lady your feet and coot nanny on this phone and thinking that she's just gonna, yeah. She's like, that's disgusting. That's vile. People pay you for that? Husband, come on, we're leaving. This is not. This is not. And now he's ass out because he needed that 100,000 by Friday. If Nas don't have his 100,000 by Friday, they're gonna break his kneecaps, Tyra. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But no, Cassie is a mess, and I don't know why Nate would hang on to it. We know that before the appeal to Cassie, he said was, I this was the one I always needed. She listens to me. She does everything I say.
Yeah.
She's not doing everything you say now. So what's the appeal?
I don't know. I'm like, are we trying to have him blow up? I think someone left a comment and it was like, oh, you guys complained so much in those other seasons about Nate. God forbid he evolved. He is healed.
Girl.
God forbid Nate evolves. He is healed. And you can tell he's healed after that conversation that he was able to have in the kitchen with Cal. He's healed. He's moving on. He's getting out of Cal's shadow and becoming his own man, and he's maturing, and y'all want him to be the angry man, the angry psycho that he was. You just don't go from A to Z like that. It just doesn't work that way. If we wouldn't have had so much of an escalation in each season of what Nate was willing to do, especially when you have him at this point tricking for handouts, y'all swear to God, Nate was an evil genius. He was a whole mastermind.
That's what they swear.
He was rubbing them Birdman hands together, just moo-hoo ha-ha, and then we get here and we just don't know what to do. We're not even smart enough to keep a business afloat, and we are not even, mistakes happen, but 600K in debt? Mistakes? No. Where's the mastermind? Where's the manipulator? I don't know. I thought this was going to be Pinky in the brain. Oh, no. She's the brain now? I don't know. Thank you so much, Jay Boogan. Nate got cloned or something. Because who is this man? I hope they do a flashback on him. Cassie is ridiculously dumb. Harpo, who these people? Yeah, Cassie always had an air about her, but this is crazy. She's like, oh my God, you told, didn't you? You said something about my pictures.
Maybe she saved his life in these past 5 years and it changed the dynamic of their relationship. Maybe they went through something traumatic together and it bonded them more than ever. And that's what's kind of changed the direction of the relationship. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know because they haven't shown us, but I'm just saying.
I don't feel like Cassie could do that much. She's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I gotta help him. I don't feel like she would. Because this Cassie here, she would be trying to be perfect and not make a mistake because I don't want to lose Nate because this is all I ever really wanted. I want, and it's just like, no, I really could give a damn. I'm going to do what I want to do. And you better make sure you get some money. It's like, what?
I think that's the hard part with a 5-year time gap. If you don't fill us in on the details, it's hard to see this just new person pop up when we didn't get to see the evolution of them, Y'all like a flashback any other time. I don't know why we couldn't just get a flashback.
They need to, because you have 30 minutes. Ashley, any predictions for the next episode?
No, I don't know, Tyra. Now, the one prediction, y'all know, I think Dylan, aka Richard Gere's son, is going to be a problem. Did you see his fit that he has at the agency as far as him not getting any roles during the Demi?
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like he's going to be problematic for whatever reason. He's connected to Maddie, it seems, more than Mrs. Pinsler. So I'm very interested to see what Maddie's journey is going to be like. I hope we continue with her. Like, I'm more interested in Maddie and how this business is going to go really than I am with anybody else other than Lexi. Because again, Rue is just going to be a crackhead. And I fear the story exists elsewhere unless they're going to take us back and walk us through where she's at and where she's going. I'm more interested in Maddie and Lexi at this point, Tyra. That's what I care about. But I don't know what they're going to do next week.
I don't know. I just I know that we have some talent here, you know. Where is Sharon Stone? Where is Sharon Stone? What's the actress who was the lead in Desiree? The lead in Teal. You know, to be taking her through to every role. What's her name?
Deadweiler?
Yes, she's here. Like, yeah, it's some folks here. We just aren't really utilizing anybody here and pushing any narratives along. I need y'all to go on, do something with Alamo. Let it be known. Like, I need some happenings to happen. All of this nudity and the ninjas of the world, that didn't help the story one bit. We got nowhere. That progressed us nowhere. So please don't leave with that next episode. I'm expecting us to go down the lane and maybe tone it down a bit with Cassie now that Maddie's our manager. Still naked as hell, but not what we were getting this episode. I think she's going to drop back on that, but we're going to see that and maybe see how Maddie's planning to master and manipulate that. We didn't make no money at this BB barbecue. I love the maid was like, "Do you want me to save this? You know y'all ain't got no money. Do you want me to keep these meats? You want this sweet potato? You want the potato salad? You want the beans? Don't be trying to front in front of these people, sir. I work here. I know what the money's looking like. We don't have no money." He said, "I'm going to kill you, girl."
When he said that, I say, "Oh, there's the real Nate. That's the real Nate. There he goes, right there."
Oh Lord, like, yeah, I'm hoping that. I'm sure we'll get into the afterglow or whatever with Rue and Jules and maybe get some more there. But we didn't make any money, so I'm assuming that Nate is going to get beat upside the head because you didn't come here with my coin, and I guess we'll deal with that. But I'm just hoping that we dial it back on the more disturbing things and really push something along with our characters. It's not that hard. But y'all, that was Euphoria. Ashley, anything you want to share with the people?
Yes, do not forget, tomorrow night we are coming back to talk the finale, 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, the season 8 finale. We'll also be discussing From as the collective, so make sure you're there for that live. Also, check out the uploads. Tyra and myself have done uploads for From. I actually dropped my deep dive. Y'all know I don't do a deep dive. I did a deep dive on From with theories, y'all. Go over and please run those up. We have the Testaments this week. We have Imperfect Women. Dom will be back this week. So yeah, be there or be square. I'm thinking, I feel a blockbuster movie night deep down in my spirit. I've already picked the movie. I just haven't done my graphics or my little intro yet, but make sure you're there for that, for the members. But yeah, just do your best to support, like, hype, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Help run up them views, honey. If you just got to put it on in the background and let it play a couple times, just do that. It helps. It helps us out.
Nah, you better play my shit. Watch it, okay? Miss Mama's did some editing. I did some stuff in my videos. Go over there and watch it. Run it up, and then let it run, and then watch it again. Now, you watch it the first time. If you want to let it play in the back after that, the background music as you clean the house, then, but you watch that. You let that play, like Darnell said on Girlfriends. Let that play and watch it and then come back. But we do have videos dropping. Be sure to support that. Be sure to support this live. Leave some comments down in the chat. We appreciate you guys so much. Hit that like button. Join us tomorrow, as Ashley said, for 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days and us getting into Boyd and the crew over there and From. We will see y'all next time. Good night.
In the mirror, I'm doing my dance. Ain't packing out nobody's pants. He a rapper, but don't got a chance. Stuck in my waist, so I'm loving my bands. Like a million views in a day. There's so many ways to get paid. I tried dipping, he begged me to stay. Babe, I'm not staying, I just wanna play. In the party, he just wanna rump. Big boobs in the bus, they plump. She a baddie, she knows she a 10. She a baddie with her baddie.